good quote right there. Cut government back to its constitutional size.
In the war. The Tea Party movement is all about is cutting it back to size, believing in the Constitution. It is great. There's a 10th Amendment movement. Isn't this fantastic?
Yeah.
Talking about sound money again and the gold standard. These are all wonderful things happening. Isn't it amazing that we're talking about the constitutional right for the states to nullify bad federal law? This to me is rather amazing. I went to Congress quite a few years ago, and I believe my role would be to go and vote the way I promised, the way the Constitution says, even if I would be alone, and that not much would happen, that it would be probably not noticed, and someday I would go back home and hopefully leave a record that people would notice someday in the future. Today, though, I am pleasantly surprised to find out there are so many of you who really care, and you're sick and tired of what you have.
Yes, thank you.
As far as I'm concerned, for all political action, is to preserve liberty.
Yes.
That should be the goal. It should be for any special interest. Preserving liberty means you have a strong national defense and you have free markets and property rights and all these things. That is what the Constitution was written for, and it had a lot of prohibitions. Not against the people. The prohibitions are on the government.
Yes.
People.
Thank you.
There you go.
So if we can do that, if we can achieve that, that we preserve our liberties, what is the purpose of liberty? Well, that is the key. The purpose of liberty is to make ourselves better people. That gives us the opportunity to work for excellence and virtue, which should be the goal of all of us in our lives. Because governments, once they get involved in dealing with making you more virtuous and more excellent person or more economically equal among you, the government can't do any of that without undermining your liberties. If they decide, if our government decides that what we have to solve the problems of the world, we have to impose our goodness around the world, therefore you have to undermine somebody else's liberty. And you know what? Besides, when government embarks on any of those efforts, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. What we need is to restore the confidence in this country and the people that freedom works, that freedom is the solution to our problems, that our liberties ought to be protected. Now sometimes it's easy, everybody's for freedom. I've never met anybody in Washington who I'm not for freedom. You know, I've never heard of a congressman running for Congress saying, oh, I don't plan to uphold the Constitution. No, they're all for the Constitution, they're all for limited government, they're all for freedom. So we have to be very precise. What does it mean to have liberty? To me, if I have liberty and you have liberty, guess where the responsibility falls?
On yourself.
It falls on you, the individual. It falls on you to take care of yourself. It falls on you to assume that if you work hard, you can reap the rewards of your hard effort. And that would be a tremendous incentive. That is what gave us the great prosperity of this country. This idea that we could have this incentive and actually keep what we have, and keep what we earn. But you know, there's another thing about liberty, and then sometimes there's parts of liberty that nobody wants to concede that is the case. Actually, what liberty does, it allows you to make all choices in all matters. It means, of course, that you can spend your money. Even when you waste your money, the government can't come in and say, quit wasting your money. The liberal side say, no, we have to tell the people how to spend their money. We have to regulate every consumption item because somebody's going to take advantage of the people and therefore abuse the people, so that we need regulators. I had one congressman tell me once, I said, why are you voting for this bill? Why do we have to tell the people what they can do and can't do? He says, you know what? He says, people are too stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Believe me, that is an attitude that prevails in Washington. Anybody that advocates big government, a lot of laws, a lot of regulations, a lot of taxation, they believe you are not capable of taking care of yourself. And that is what has to be reversed. Because we sat on our hands for so long and made those assumptions, we carelessly allowed things to flow. We've lost a lot of our liberties, and they're being continually challenged. So we have to look at this. We want you to be able to spend your money as you choose, but also what you do with your life. We know that the government's not supposed to deal with your religious values, what you put into your soul or into your mind. You're allowed to read things as you choose. But why is it that so often we think it's okay for the government to tell us what we can put in our mouths or put in our lungs or put in our body, instead of like, oh, the government will take care of us. So therefore you have government at the federal level telling you, for instance, that it is your best interest that we tell you that you're not allowed to drink raw milk. That's how they're going to protect you. Now, you take, for instance, in the drug war, which, if you're caring about liberty, you have to address the subject about how the drug war undermines personal liberty.
That's right!
But the drug war has drifted over into the total curtailment of the growing of hemp. You know, hemp is a great product, but it competes with other products that are subsidized by the government, and they don't want competition. Hemp is related to marijuana, but if you want to smoke hemp, you need a cigarette as big as a phone pole to get We are on a sanity course of saying nobody can grow hemp, a fantastic product that makes many, many different products where we begged and pleaded for our farmers to grow during World War II. So it's those kind of things that spill over. In this effort to regulate behavior for so-called good reasons also has many unintended consequences. We believe that we should have protection of life and liberty, and of course pursuit of happiness, or keep what we earn. But I think the most important of all that, liberty is important, obviously, but you cannot protect liberty if you don't protect all life. Once human life is identified, if we can do that, we will have a free and prosperous society. Freedom to me is so wonderful, and I have such confidence in how well it works if we can just protect that and guarantee that you have your God-given rights to your life and your liberty, where our freedoms come from, not from our government. If we allow that and understand freedom is tolerance. Think of the First Amendment. The federal government says, the Congress shall write no laws regarding the many things that they list there. Write no laws. That means that certainly the administration can't write laws. They're not supposed to be able to write regulations or executive orders or anything else. They're not allowed to under the Constitution. That's right. If we're told that the Congress writes all laws and the executive branch is not allowed to either, why in the world have we allowed our judicial branch to write law? They shouldn't write law either. I would believe in freedom and free markets if it did not produce greater wealth. But we who believe in freedom, we don't even have to argue that, because history is on our side. History proved the freer the market, the sounder the money, the greater prosperity, and the more people that can enjoy it. So freedom is defendable from a very practical way. So this is something that we fail, I think, to project. But freedom also works in a social way. Freedom does bring people together.
Yes, it does.
Freedom should not be divisive. If the First Amendment says that you can say things that are controversial, you should be able to tolerate other people who are controversial too, as long as they don't impose their will or their rules and their beliefs on you.
Yes. That's right!
to be optimistic. As pessimistic as I am on the economy, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. We're going to have a monetary crisis. There's going to be a challenge. So I hope this group, the Tea Party movement, and others continue to grow and have a significant intellectual influence on Washington, D.C. Because things will get a lot worse. But freedom is alive and well, let me tell you. Not only do we see the movements like this, but I go constantly to the universities, and if you have a true intellectual revolution, the universities will express it, and believe me, on the campuses of this country, they care about freedom, they care about liberty, they care about our Constitution, and they are going to be the next generation. We will have no magic cure in November. We will significantly see some changes, hopefully, and that will be good. But the major challenge will be when we have a dollar financial crisis and the whole system is going to be challenged. But intellectually, the belief in liberty is growing by leaps and bounds, and you are reflecting that. So I come here with great gratitude for having been invited, but I go away with great excitement and belief and enjoyment that I know so many of you care. Thank you very much.